What's going on, everybody? This is Jerome Moore, host and creator of Deep Dish Conversations. And firstly, I want to say thank you for all love and support, and thank you for exploring the perspectives of social change with me on this platform. I want to encourage you all to like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube and on your favorite podcast listen platform. And make sure you give us a 5-star rating if you're loving the Deep Dish Conversations. I appreciate all of the support again. I hope you all enjoy this episode. What's going on, man?
Man, you got it, Ron. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm good, dog. I'm good, man. Welcome to the platform, man.
Appreciate you for having me, bro.
Man, a lot of people don't know me and Greg go all the way back to elementary. Like my dad, my dad dropped me off at his house, or we'll go to Chuck E. Cheese together. And now we full grown, man.
Yeah, now we fathers.
Kids. Yeah, right, with kids. Taking them to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes, sir.
But, man, Greg, let's get straight into it, man. So just, tell people who you are, you know what I'm saying, where you from, what you do.
I'm comedian Chef Greg, you know what I'm saying, born and raised here in Nashville. Shout out to South Nashville, JCUC, you feel me, where I was born and raised. But now, man, I'm a chef, I'm a comedian, I'm a business owner, serial entrepreneur is what I call myself. Because one thing, with the chef business, Thompson Family Catering led to Thompson Family Logistics and Hauling, led to Extraordinary Boutique, so Extraordinary Gentleman Boutique. It led to so many different things. So that's who I am, man. Serial entrepreneur, father, father of 6. So I'm out here, 6 kids, 6 businesses. A business for each child support check.
Hey, man, when you gone, each kid got a business they can take over.
Yeah, so, it's funny you mentioned that, like, my oldest is 12, Caleb, shout out Caleb. And he's a junior chef, so he's already, like, put his claim in for Thompson Family Catering. Mm-hmm. And then, like, my middle girl, Leah has Leah's Lemonade. So she has vegan lemonade. She's got her own business already. That's separate of what I do.
Damn, it's a vegan lemonade with it.
So yeah, she's 6 years old. She was diabetic, right? Leah was diabetic, and it was basically it was type 2. So I think we know type 2 is based off your diet and things like that, and that can control that. And so what I realized as a present father, is that she drinks a lot of sodas and stuff like that. So let's eliminate that stuff. And so she's watching me cook, though, right? She's watching me be an entrepreneur and chefing. And so she goes to the grocery store with me one day, and she like, Dad, I want to buy some lemons. I want to do lemonade. And I'm like, all right, it ain't no harm in that. It ain't a high-cost thing, man. And so we do it, and I'm like, dang, I can't use regular sugar. I got to use like raw sugar or something like that. So I didn't like raw. Raw didn't taste like right for lemonade. So I did some more research and came to another vegan sugar, and we did it, and it was fire. You know what I'm saying? So we put it in some bottles. First we started selling cups of lemonade at different pop-up shops and stuff like that in conjunction with my catering company. And people were really loving it. So then we started bottling it. She's been in stores in Antioch, just to try it out, and been bought out in an hour. They're like crazy stuff. So, she's a junior entrepreneur.
Hey, man, next time you come through,
bring some
lemonade. Deep this conversation,
yeah.
Lemonade edition.
Come on now. I bring Leah too, cause she dope. She can talk to her business. That's one of the things I try to teach them.
Yeah. And so, man, let's get straight into it, dog.
Got you.
And so, growing up, JCUC, originally from Nashville, we unicorns. Mm-hmm. We unicorns, it's only a few left.
Yeah.
Man, how has white supremacy or racism affected your upbringing personally, for yourself, and what you've seen just around your community growing up here?
So, man, white privilege is real. We like to think that it's not, but growing up in South Nashville, and I lived near the projects, but not in the projects, but I always went in, You just gravitate to that area or whatever. But me, we went to school together. I would say where I saw white supremacy happen in my life. I went to Martin Luther King. After we went to elementary school, then we kind of branched off because I went to magnet school. You went to some magnet schools?
Yeah, but I was out north, though.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Where did you go to magnet school?
I went to Head.
Okay, I went to Head, right? So after Head, I got in the lottery, and I got into Martin Luther King.
Okay.
Right? And so it's funny how we got here deep these conversations, but No lie. And Martin Luther King, which is a rare thing, right, to get in. I'm an athlete, and I'm wrestling, and I break my ankle. And the next year, I come back to school. First or second week in school, they call me to the office. I'm like, damn, what? I ain't do nothing. You know me as a kid, like, I wasn't a troublemaker. I didn't do none of that. So that's not how my mama raised me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, I remember I caught the bus to school. That's why I was like crazy coming down here today. Cause like some of the same streets is the same streets I walked as a kid, like as a responsible kid. It's crazy. But so man, they called me to the office, and long story short, a white girl accused me of touching her the year before. Like, and because she could write it out. Keep in mind, you went to Head Magnet. We've been writing 5-paragraph essays since we was, 12 years old, 11 years old, where they taught us English and structure, right? And how to articulate and write stuff down. Come on, man. So it was like, okay, she wrote a book. Okay, that's what we do.
Right.
So I wrote my book. That's what we do, right? And it wasn't the same. The white book won. Bro, I ended up getting kicked out of school and everything, like just like that. My mom couldn't even get to the school quick enough for them to send me to Jerry Baxter Alternative off of Galson Road.
Wow.
No lie. Like, keep in mind, I didn't win presidential awards for when I think George Bush was the president when I won this award. And so I'm like, I done all these things and it's gone just like that. It's just an accusation.
So how did that, like that one incident, right?
Yeah.
How did that one incident, you think, affected kind of the residual effects of that going forward?
So I can tell you, like literally that day, like within days later, as the process plays out, right? I'm going to court, and one thing my mom always taught me: take responsibility for your actions. And your actions come with benefits or they come with consequences, right? And so I always measured that in anything I've done, because it's embedded, right? And in this particular case, we go to court and everything. And I remember going down to the courthouse, the adult courthouse, and they interview me and my mom. And one of the things that the detective is trying to get me to plea, right? He like, I can't help you unless you help me. And I'm like, well, the only way I can help you is to tell you the truth, right? This is the truth. I don't know this girl. I ain't never done this. You know what I'm saying? Look at how long she wrote a story, and I know it's on a handful of black people at the school, but I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? The project's right across the street. Maybe somebody from the projects came to school.
Right.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I remember sitting there like we sitting here, and our detective stick his head in the room, and he like, I got the tape. And this is me. I'm like, yeah, I know I didn't do it. Like, when you do something, it's only you and God that know, ultimately, right? So I'm like, between me and him, I know I didn't do this. So if you saying you got a tape, it's going to show my mama that it ain't me.
Right.
So they take my mom out to see the tape, and he trying to get me to plea while I'm, like, just admit guilt. And I'm like, nah. My mom come back, and I'm like, cool, we good, because but she was stoic. She was shut down. And we got back to the house, and I kept asking, like, what, did they show you the tape? Did they show you? And they didn't. Long story short, they just made her feel bad to come home to try to impress upon me to plead guilty, which ultimately she did. And it wasn't her fault. I don't blame my mom. I don't want anybody to think that I blame my mom in that, because I remember the DA telling me something. I had to make the decision. Ultimately, I had to sign the paperwork. Ultimately, and I remember the DA saying something. She was like, "If this white girl go to court, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this is what's said. This is the allegation. They're gonna find you guilty, more than likely, and the judge gets to determine what your length of sentence is." Then what she said wrong. I'm 13. She say he can lock you up you can stay custody till you're 21. Math is one of my favorite subjects. This is what I did. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Once I got over to the second hand, I knew I was out. But we gonna go 17, 18, 19, 20. That's 10 years. 10 years.
10 years of your life gone. But something you didn't do.
Nah, I can't. So what it look like if I plead? She say you gonna have to be on probation. You got to go to classes at Vanderbilt, and that's it, right? But you got to plead guilty. Like, I'm like, this is crazy, but I had to do it.
Right.
And I was at, this conversation about white supremacy and white power, and just the power that they have in that moment. Like, that was power.
Right.
It was the power of the other color against me that led to that.
The system.
Bruh, I had 2 offers from colleges at this time. 2 letters from colleges. The U had sent me a letter, and Oral Roberts University had sent me a letter this same summer.
Wow.
That they were looking at me. I hadn't even done nothing but wrestle and break my ankle while wrestling. I hadn't even played football yet. I was gonna go play for Pearl because Martin Luther King doesn't have a football team now, and who do they go play at? They go play at Pearl because it's right down the street. But Martin Luther King had a basketball program, and Doc Shelton, the great Doc Shelton, was the coach. Man, I was getting ready to ball. I'm like, man, this is it. I'm coming into the prime of me as a young black man. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it.
Right.
And then that is cut. It's morphed. That was at that point that I succumbed to some of the things that we fall into as a black man. I began to smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? Because there are no other outlets.
Right.
At that point, there's nothing else.
Community-wise, was there anything in your community at the time that you felt like, okay, I can go talk to somebody, or was there anybody available that could have helped you navigate, okay?
I think that my mom, what I found out in that was my mom had went through that situation, right? And because in our community there's not.
Right.
It was a trigger, as we like to use that word, thanks to Janae Aiko. It was a trigger, and she shut down, right? And she couldn't give me what she didn't have. And really, nobody could in that moment, bro. I was out on the island, to be honest. I just had to go through that. And that's where my faith is. Well, that's why my faith is so strong, because in those moments as I matured, I realized that a lot of times, sometimes your spirituality is all you have. Your relationship with Christ is really, or whoever you know what I'm saying? That's all you got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Them dark, deep moments. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
So at this point now, or even through that journey, what have been some of the ways that you've tried to confront or combat racism or white supremacy?
Man, being an entrepreneur and being a leader, right? Like, it's about how you respond. I think that's what we've learned in this way. You respond, but it's about how you respond. You know what I'm saying? We used to being young. Sometimes I think we try to respond like with the rah, and you got to know how to fight legally. What the laws are about how you can respond and things like that. Because to be honest, they playing by the rule. They playing by these laws and stuff too. They subject to them just like we are now. I know it's not always fair. We see that, but if you play along them lines, you got to. You got to, and that's why it's important that we continue to educate the next generation behind us. That's why I love coaching. You know what I'm saying? Because I get to instill leadership, confidence, speak up for yourself. I coach 5 and 6 year olds, but in every program I'm in, I have access to kids as old as 12, 13, 14, 15. Mm-hmm. So what I do with that is everything that I went through and I learned as an athlete, as a young black man, as a kid in a single parent household with no father, you know, I learned how to support them in how I wasn't supported. And everything that I went through, like, I still found success. I persevered. Thank you, God. You know what I'm saying? So I teach them that. I coach basketball. We had our first practice Tuesday. And as I'm teaching them basketball, I end with prayer. You know what I'm saying? And that's just it. Faith. But we know faith without works is dead, period. Right. So that's when you talk about what are we doing in our communities. Are we serving our people? Are we giving back? You know, I got a food company, a catering company. Am I feeding the homeless? Am I feeding the people? You know, or am I just taking the easy route out and giving that guy I know at the gas station who got a drug problem, just giving him cash? That's not helping him. Right. I should probably feed him, give him what he need, because he going to buy what he want, and his wants is not, you see what I'm saying? It's
right.
Like, so when I see them, I just encourage them. That was one thing I always do with anybody as my walk. Just encourage them, let them know, like, man, figure out what your purpose in life is. Right. Don't just be out here living and walking and just working for anybody. And you'll find that people will use that until you know till you get a vision. You know what I'm saying? You'll just be subject to people, to helping people realize their visions.
Right. Man, I truly believe, like, we all affected. White people, brown people, black people, yellow people, green people. We all affected by white supremacy and racism on different levels, of course, as we know. But it affects us all in our own personal way, in our own personal journey. You know, we grew up in similar, you know what I'm saying, similar areas, you know what I'm saying, similar backgrounds and whatnot. Hence, that's why we was kicking it.
Yeah, right.
From your point of view, man, from your perspective, what could the community in South Nashville, where you grew up at the time, what could they have done to possibly prepare you, your mama, and others to navigate and confront the racism, white supremacy that was to come?
Man, like, just having the conversations. I think the forums, the platform, like, people being more mindful of their platform and using it for that, to spark those conversations and spark the change. Right. Like, growing up, we that wasn't our focus.
Right.
You know, it's crazy that it's gotten to this point, and now we got to have a mass focus, right? So I would just say it was out of sight, out of mind then, and it's a conversation it can get emotional, it can get hurtful, you know, it brings up all of that, and so people shy away from that because of that. We should talk more about it.
That's why we got deep dish conversations. Because just that, what you're saying is, it is uncomfortable, it is tense, but you know, it could potentially save your life. It could potentially help you learn how to navigate a situation that you're dependent with. And even in as parents now, we know, okay, I know what to talk to my sons and my daughters about, like, when it comes to dealing with and navigating this racist white supremacy country that we work in. And you know what I'm saying? When we was growing up, we just went, you know what I'm saying? We just lived. And then when we encountered something, because of the lack of knowledge that our parents had or navigated, we had to either, you know, plea out or you know, we just you gotta take it to the chin.
Right.
But taking it to the chin could lead to scholarships being gone.
Yes.
Being in a worse school environment where you don't have the same resources.
Right.
Like alternative school. And then you put around, you know what I'm saying, more wolves and lions, so you gotta become more of that.
Yes.
And so we don't realize it then, we just adapting, but we don't see the residual effect until we get older and say, man, what if that one situation, what if you would have been able to stay at MLK? Just imagine.
Hey, that made me think, though, like, back to the last question. If I had, like, I think about that. I've thought about that what if I had have been able to realize everything that I was on the path to do? I don't know. I think I would be great still. I would just be farther along. Right. But I mean, it wasn't what was supposed to happen. I ain't tripping. It gave me so much knowledge to be able to serve my people that I can't trip.
Question for you: if your son was in your position that you was in,
I just support him, bro. That's it.
You know, however many.
My mom didn't give me a lawyer. She left. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a public defender. They work for the state. They get paid by the state. And these are the things I wouldn't do.
Right.
I get on my mom about, like, we talk about. She hate having this conversation today. She won't come to my comedy shows because she don't know if I will make a joke about it or not, because it don't hurt me no more. Right. So I will make a joke about it.
Right.
Because it's just my testimony.
So your son in your situation you was in the eighth grade.
Caleb 12. It can happen right now.
If Caleb was in your situation that you was in today, you telling him don't plea. We fighting it.
We fighting it. Let's get a lawyer. Off top. Did you do it? Like, hold on. Come on, bro.
Right.
I ain't gonna love you no less.
Right.
Period.
Right.
This was the same conversation my mama had with me.
10 years on the line.
Yeah. What my mom should have done, though, is look me in my eyes and see that I'm being sincere and hold me up.
Right.
Period. White people do it and they know their kids be guilty.
Right.
They put the money up and everything.
Right.
We do it when we getting drug deals and cases and stuff like that.
Do you think your mama had the money?
Get what I told her. You had child support coming in, yeah. you should have made a deal or something. You feel me? You should have got my daddy or something. You know what I'm saying? Big George would have took care of it. Shout out to Big George, you feel me? R.I.P. Daddy, you feel me? You feel me? And I say that because my dad was silent. When he found out about it, my mom quit. I remember my mom, I went to foster care after that. I was cool. I was still with my mama after that, right? I'm going to the classes and stuff. But I'm hot. Now I got no respect for you. Cause I lost everything. Really, cause you ain't have my back. And it's just me and you.
Right.
Well, ain't nobody else supposed to have my back like my mama. That's what they say in the black family. Ain't nobody gonna be there like your mama. And then she dropped it. So when she dropped it, I remember like being mad. I started smoking. I started like listening to her. I had a curfew because of the probation. Now I'm on probation. Bruh, I was so mad because the curfew wouldn't allow me to go to basketball practice. Like I couldn't even be an athlete.
Right.
So I'm like, oh nah, I'm finna be a hood nigga. I can't be a scholar no more. I gotta be a hood nigga. Look, I was gonna be a blood and everything. Get what he told me? He said, Greg, you hard. Whatever you do, you gonna do to the fullest your potential. But you are a who, what, when, why, and where type of guy. I'm like, yeah, so I'm gonna get the job done. That's what I heard you say. What you need me to do? Where we going?
Right.
He was like, but look, they don't do all that and they get the job done. Long story short, and man, I love OG Line for this. He locked up right now. Mm-hmm. I love him for this because he wouldn't put me down. And the next day they went to jail. Every blood made front page Tennessee. You know this.
Everybody know that.
I would have been on the front page too if I had been as willing as I was that night.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So there are people in our community. There are the Fridges. There are the Lonnies. There are because Lonnie coming home one day. He gonna do what Fridge doing. You feel me? Like there are people in our communities holding it down and like giving people hope. Right. That you can change and
no, it's crazy what I'm getting from your whole story though, and I hope everybody watching this and listening is getting it. That racism, discrimination, white supremacy, systemic racism altered so many facets of your life. Your relationship with your mama, school, sports, all because it wasn't no other way for you to navigate out of the situation of like systemic racism and white supremacy. And you had to find another way, but along that you had to hit your head hard. Yeah. And almost, cause it could have cost you even more time than 10 years. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, and then even like going to college. And I have an IT degree. I worked in corporate America from 21 to 30. I'm 31, yeah. 21 to 20 to about 28. I got out of IT because of racism. Like literally because of a black man can't possibly work remote and support the executive staff. Why can't I? I can show you how to open a MacBook out of the box and get it ready and do your job. I can do that remotely. I can do an iPhone like that, an iPad like that. I can ship all of that stuff out and not be in the office. But they didn't want that because I can't see you. I'm not in control.
Wow.
So like they let me go. Not because I'm not getting the job done, but like you can get the job done too well from your way. Like it's a remote position though, right? Yeah.
And that's why I think one of the ways to combat and confront white supremacy as a black person in the United States is owning your own business, man.
Amen.
Because the data's out there, the facts out there, but the microaggressions, the covert, overt racism, all that is like you're gonna have to deal with it, and you'll have to either conform, be lesser than yourself, or you have to, you know what I'm saying, not do that and end up either getting fired.
Yeah.
You have to resign, quit, and just do your own thing.
I had a guy text me today because I own a trucking company and all these things. And he's a truck driving instructor at a prominent school. $4,000 a month, easy. I know this guy makes. He like, I'm quitting my job. He texted me this today, Ron. I'm like, wow, I funnel my drive. You funnel drivers to me, and I send people who want to get their CDLs to him. He said, man, it's a guy here. He races, and I just can't take it. $4,000 a month, $5,000, it ain't enough to take care of. You know what I'm saying? To deal with that every day.
And what's crazy, a lot of us, many of us, have that ultimatum or come across that ultimatum because many of us don't come from affluent families or generational wealth or any kind of
we need that job.
We need that job. So we have to. So we all have a choice. But when you compound that with, I gotta eat that. I gotta feed my kids.
Yeah, I gotta eat that every day.
I gotta take care of my gal as a man, or or whatever it may be. It's like, man, I gotta.
And that's why women
especially if you don't have the support to be able to come home and vent that, and maybe your woman or maybe your family's like, you right, but. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we're supposed to just take that.
Right. We can't. You right, but what you gonna do?
Right.
Because I can't. I'm not gonna be able. I got my own situation.
Right.
And so you really gotta just take it, which is unfortunate, but and it is what it is.
That's what I tell people: start your own business. The Thompson Family Catering started as another name. It was because while I was working at IT, my cousin was a chef in Franklin at the Hearth, and he going out there, we carpooling. Because, man, we live in Nashville, we driving all the way to Franklin. So, it ain't, like, let's carpool, save money. And I remember him dropping me off, and then he go to work. And when he came back and picked me up that day, I'm talking about a strong black man period. Bro, his countenance was off. And I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you? That day, while serving lunch, 2 white ladies came down the line. And they looked at each other and said, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a nigga by the toe. And if he holler, don't let him go, hang that nigga. He had to still serve them people. He looked like that because in his mind, they did not deserve to eat the food that he had spent hours preparing, and they didn't. Them people should have had to eat something else. Wow. I ain't saying they should have ate shit, but they should have ate something. They shouldn't have been able to allow to eat that chef's food and disrespect him like that. But because he was employed there, he needed that check to take care of his son, he had to eat that. But it messed him up. Yeah. And it messed me up. It's messing me up.
It's messing me up just listening to that.
So I said, hey, no. I said, so you in a job where you make what we make is way different, right? I'm college educated. He's a laborer. I said, no, I got money. Let's start a business. Cause you can't keep doing. I know you can't quit tomorrow, but we gotta start something. And out of that, M&T's Catering was birthed.
Exit strategy.
Exit strategy. I need one too, cause I'm at the office with the white folks. Right. And I'm going through the same thing. Right. Only difference was, ain't no difference. To be honest, it's just I'm in a suit. Yeah. You in an apron.
And I hope the non-people of color who are watching and listening to this, like reflect on this while you at work, while you looking at your black colleagues. Just try to notice some of the stuff that is happening that you probably never noticed before because you never thought to notice it. But just reflect on it and do that for a month and see what you come out with.
Man, I'm trying to get the Nashville comedians, the white Nashville comedians, to do that. Because it's so hard, man. Being a black comedian in Nashville, where it's dominated by whites, man, dog, it's trash. It's trash, bro. That's why I started hosting shows in my first year of doing comedy, because I got tired of that. Like, I'm not that guy. You're not choking me out. Right. I'm not. So I put my money up rather than go and do something and then you charging people to get in here, and you shouldn't even get to hear my jokes. Right.
Right.
I don't care how good or not good they are.
Right.
So I just go rent a venue out and tell the black guy, hey, I invite everybody.
Right.
But we know they not going to come.
Right.
They come like some. But what happens is they can't control the energy. When we own something, we control the energy. At that point, then if somebody come with the bad, you have the right to refuse service.
Right.
That's the beautiful thing I love about my business. I had a lady come in my first year. We were selling hot dogs. She talked so crazy to me, only buying 2 hot dogs. Guess what I told her? How you doing? We're going to serve you. Here go your 2 hot dogs. The next time you come, if you ever disrespect me like this, you will not eat 2 hot dogs. You won't eat anything that I'm selling. I'm not going to serve you. Because for $4, you is not about to cuss me out and call me everything but a child of God.
Right.
Just like that's just how that's just how she talks.
Right.
Like, nah. So that's why I tell people you want power, but with power comes great responsibility.
Right.
So you're going to have to make sure you're doing taxes. You're going to have to make sure you got a business license. You're going to have to make sure that all these things that having a business entails, you do.
I got one more question for you, but just before I ask this question, you coming back, and I want to hear more about the community of comedy and that whole melting pot of just like being like integrated in white supremacy and racism itself. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not in it like me. I'm not in. I just see it. I'm thinking everybody, you know what I'm saying, having a good time. But I want to bring you back to talk about that.
I got you. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I want to bring. Yeah, I want to bring you back because we need to talk about it, but also not talk about it to bash anybody per se, but talk about it to learn and grow to see how we can improve.
Yes.
Because the people that may be doing it, they may be doing it intentionally, but they might be doing it unintentionally.
Do what I say. If somebody in doing anything is on time, they look good, and they prepared, there should be no excuse we don't give this person opportunity in a timely fashion. If your paperwork right, your appearance is right, come on, man. It don't matter what color you are. No.
Right.
So like other night when we went to comedy, and me and the white comedian, but he my black guy. You know how you got that John B. He's my John B. And man, we got pushed to the end of the show. John B. didn't even get to perform. He went by that, like that's the choke out. And even he as a mixed man, you feel me? He really is mixed though. He was like, bro, nah, I ain't going for it. Let's go. And I'm like, man, let's go. Because I like if you like it ain't right.
Right. Last question before I let you go, man. Can we overcome white supremacy and racism in the United States?
Yes.
How we do that?
Yeah, improve yourself in all ways. Get your. If you're a young black man, don't get in a whole bunch of babies. Don't get in the child support system. Don't get your degree, or get your business, get your trade. All those things that they taught us back, granddaddy and daddy taught us, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Figure out what your passion is and pursue that. This will avoid you getting in all kind of other stuff with your idle time. Right. We can overcome. Like, if I've overcome, I tell people, anybody can overcome. I'm not special. We all special. Right. You did it. We came from the same place.
Right, facts.
I went through all of that, and we still here in the same space.
Right, facts.
That goes to prove anybody can do it.
Right.
You can come from anything. I see felons reinvent themselves all day long.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As a black man, black woman, we are the strongest, most resilient people we know. Brown people are. I ain't even gonna lie.
Right.
Because you work against so many disadvantages so much that you have to be.
Right.
So as we work on our appearance, how we present ourselves, pulling the emotion out of when we talk to people and when we do business, it's gonna result in success.
You think that combats white supremacy though? Or is that something that would always exist in this country, but we can figure out better ways to navigate it and not have to conform.
When you do that, you can navigate it and not have to conform.
Okay.
Take the power. Like, but if you remove, a lot of times we put ourselves in a position where we have no power because we've messed our background up, or we've, you know what I'm saying? You got to stay clean, right? And you got to be positive. A positive attitude will change anything, I believe.
But what if it's hard to do that, like a situation like you was in? You ain't do nothing wrong.
Nah, but I stayed positive.
You stayed
and
positive.
I kept looking for a solution.
You stayed positive. Even though when the system want to paint you dirty, even though you clean, stay positive.
Stay positive. It's something to learn in every situation. So I just stayed. I was mad for a while. Like I ain't saying like just don't have no emotion. And no, I had a real response.
Right.
It was negative at first, but at some point I realized, and it was about 17. I'm getting ready to turn 18, right? And I realized like I'm about to really be held accountable. Like it ain't gonna matter if I got ADHD. It ain't gonna matter.
Right.
None of it's gonna matter because I'm an adult now. I'm gonna be held to an adult.
Right.
Literally, just the thought I had in my head, and I made a decision to stop taking ADHD medicine and be more mindful of my actions.
Right.
Because I'm gonna be held accountable.
Right.
Period.
Hey, Greg, man, I appreciate it, dog. We bring you back so we can dive into more of the life as a black comedian in Nashville, and how white racism and white supremacy plays a role in that, plays a part in that, and just what the hell is going on.
Let's do it, bro.
Appreciate it, fam.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right.